Right. I've got to work on getting my confidence back. This is basically a part 2 of the bins gate, so to speak. So I'm just really glad that when something's not right. Well, you know when something's not right when the ladies in the house who are being friendly to you are also asking if you're schizophrenic. And it's not normal to ask someone, especially someone that you don't know, if they're schizophrenic. It's not socially acceptable, is it? We can all be agreed on that. That's not a normal thing to do. It's normal to be traumatised by all the trauma of what the council and the local authorities, the crimes against humanity, it's normal to be traumatised by that. So basically, I have just left a voice message for John and Luke, and this time I'm not pulling any punches. I kind of used a bit of bad language, as I have been recently on my channel, which shows that I am close to breaking point, because I've been programmed, if you like, to be, the people pleaser and overly polite. I need to get this off my chest, because I've basically told these 2 men, John and Luke from Lilybank Homes, to grow a pair. It's absolutely disgusting. And I tell you what, the woman downstairs, I won't say her name, but the one who said to me that she too had complained about the bins outside, they've now gone. But I noticed how, you can't see it in the video because I'm trying not to film anyone else in the background, but she gave me a funny look, and yet she sort of went, and I thought, well, you can see I'm being quite normal, whatever normal is, because I said, oh, sorry, I'm just filming. But she was very friendly when I moved in. You know how European girls are nicer than English girls. They're very polite, and she shook my hand when I moved in, very quiet. But she sort of changed towards me. When she came in the door, I said, I was very mousy. I said, can I? She was on her phone, and she looked at me and she went, like that. So I said, can I just, and it's like, oh my gosh, someone wants to speak to me. Oh, a bit like Luke and John. It's a problem. I don't want to speak to someone. Don't die because you'll be a lot of paperwork, people are problems, It's like, all right, I'm only, there's me being mousy saying, excuse me, can I just ask who, because the fact is she complained about the bins outside, so she's gone and then spoken to the other girls here. The ones who asked if I'm schizophrenic. You can see where I'm going with this, probably, if you've got intelligence at a basic level. And I'm trying to be careful how I say it. She, maybe they know about my YouTube channel. Maybe they're saying, well, be careful, Bryonies, But, I'd like it if they did know about my YouTube channel, because I'm not always forthcoming. It's all or nothing. If it comes out an explosion, it's because of PTSD. But anyway, the point that I'm making is the lady, the foreign lady downstairs, she said she's changed towards me. She's really scrunching her face up. This is what I mean. Beware, be very, very wary. This is why I don't like being around people in general. They're all nice to your face, and then very quickly, because I literally just moved in, I told John that, but John and Luke, even the lady next door said that Luke was a CUNT. My partner was quite surprised when I said that. But you say, I don't know if they remember me and my partner from Ceylon Place. I was in Lilybank Homes, all male property at Ceylon Place, when a guy, an idiot who'd come out of prison, chased my partner up the road and assaulted him. And I thought these men were mostly friendly. Well, everyone's got their issues, but the problem with house shares is, as I've learned, even in a private house share, there's a lot of mental illness that's, how can I put it? Socially unacceptable behaviour, like not very friendly, not there's a lot of that in house shares. For some reason, you would have thought people would be extra polite and wary of others, and but then they had a drunk who urinated all over the shower floor, so I got loads of bleach, didn't I, with my OCD, scrubbing the shower. Yeah, welcome to Eastbourne. They kicked the drunk out of their house share. But I've just lost it with John and Luke, because in a voice message they've got the same number, so one of them will pick it up. And I've said, look, it was my banker at one of the bankers at Barclays Bank, my bank, who rang the authorities to say, would you let I've got a very vulnerable woman, to let me back into their house share. Yes, the idiots that manage this property. They don't manage it. They've treated me and my partner like absolute dirt. The day I moved in, I met my brain-damaged, crippled sister. Now, I've been biting my tongue all this time, so to have ladies that you've never met before ask you if you're schizophrenic, and I actually gave one of them the number for Trudy from Warming Up the Homeless, and the woman I gave it to, who was all hugs, saying you shouldn't be in here, you should be in a one-bedroom flat with your partner where he can come and visit you. I'm biting my tongue, because there was an allegation from the other woman about that woman, saying that she threatened to beat her up, but she doesn't want me to tell anyone. And I haven't, obviously, that's none of my business. I'm just documenting my life on this channel and what I'm experiencing, which is my sovereign right to do that. And even PCEB 411 said, if you feel the need to film, and I've got the evidence of that, I've got the video evidence for the court, that if you feel the need to film to keep you safe, because it's no different to CCTV, and I've got evidence of him saying that, because Eastbourne police have beaten and abused me. I've documented this. Anyway, I've got to keep my sanity. I've got to stay calm. I don't have any energy, and it's not because I'm losing blood or have lost a lot of blood and I'm severely anemic. It's because I am drained, aside from that. So that's why you see me in a dressing gown most of the time. It's not just mental health, It's not just the torture. I'm being superwoman. But the other lady downstairs, she came in. She goes to work and she said, when I moved in, John and Luke, they didn't, they just said, here's the key and that's it. They weren't even here to give me the key. My partner got the key. But she said there's no notice about, no one told me about when rubbish goes out. No one told me anything. So if you don't know what to do with the bins, how are you supposed to know? Dump the rubbish out there? But I'm still going to send that to Eastbourne Borough Council. You really are. But I wish I had recorded the conversation where Luke said, that technically speaking we should be on the streets. And he's like, right, you know, I can't read all of his message, but he's saying this is the second time now that you've said we've abused you. Yes. Abuse, the word abuse can mean just neglect. It's got more than one meaning. The English language has got, you know, unlike Hebrew, the Hebrew roots of the scripture. That's why you shouldn't read an English Bible, because, you know, the Hebrew words are very, very specific. But English language, you've got more than one meaning. That's why it's the hardest language in the world to learn, apparently. I don't know, I only speak English. I know some people talk out of their arses, but, you know. But this is the first time I've started using bad language in a while. So desperate to use bad language. Just looking at the lovely chemtrails across the sky. Yeah. You know, everyone's posting photographs of chemtrails in the UK. They're everywhere on Facebook. There are loads of them in Eastbourne. Illuminati Central by the Sea. Yeah, and they've got their satanic agenda, bringing in the illegal immigrants. It's really disgusting, though. It's really disgusting how they treat you. You're just nothing. I wouldn't put a rat in these places where you got bed bugs crawling on you, but I know that's something else. But anyway, I stick to the point. So no, I don't like people being. I already knew, you know when something's not right about someone, but you just like to know where you stand, you know. Because I went into the kitchen and I said, no, I was in the kitchen making a cup of tea, and I thought to myself that lady that I've just mentioned, the foreign lady who was all smiley when she shook my hand and said she complained about the bins, and then pulled a face at me yesterday when I filmed the bins outside. She's changed very quickly, and I thought, and I'm glad I did this. I said she still had those things that, I don't have a smartphone, I don't understand technology, but she was plugged in, and I just said, you know, I was only asking you a question about, I just needed to know, and she just, you know, people just like that, they change like the wind, you know, it's like the direction of the wind, they just change. And I said, look, I just needed to know if John and Luke had been here, because, you know, they've been very rude, they've treated me and my partner very badly. And she said, oh, John and Luke, they're very nice people. I said, they weren't nice to me. No, not me and my partner. And she was just, no, they're nice. I said, no, they abused me and my partner at Ceylon Place. And I didn't elaborate any further. And as she was walking away, I said, the other woman, when I moved in, said that Luke was a C word, but I don't think she heard me say that. So this is what I mean. Women are very strange, aren't they? This is why I don't like women. There are very few women. I just keep away from women. I mean, I know you get stupid, you know, that the all male property. I felt that people were a bit, the men in that property were more, even though the old man turned a bit funny because it was all to do with Brexit. He looked like Father Christmas, and he looked, you know, it doesn't matter what they look like, you know, but they seem to be nicer. men in general, I find are easier to get on with, and I'm not the only female to have said that. I don't like this, come here, darling, give me a hug. I don't like people touching me. My partner's the same. Yeah, that's why we don't like being around people. It takes a lot to put your trust in someone. And there's probably a lot of jealousy. Well, I know there's a lot of jealousy. That's why my mother wanted to leave this country in the first place. She didn't want to, and that was in the 50s and 60s. This country in general, but people in general do get jealous. And that's why, with everything that's happened, with the delicacy of my thinking and how vulnerable I am and how evil people are, etc., everything gets all mishmashed up. And then I think that my partner's abusing me, which in some ways it sounds ludicrous. In other ways it sounds like it could happen because there are sociopaths out there. But I know my partner and he knows me. And we are yoked together. So it's difficult, isn't it? And there's all these flying monkeys and jealousy and bitterness. But yeah, no, I've gone on a massive tangent here, and I only meant to say something about the bins outside. But you see my point. I don't like being around people, but this is why I had a self-contained flat. I was awake into the early hours into the morning typing an email to the solicitor. I don't have the money though to go and find the time, the energy to go and find solicitors. When you're homeless, you don't have the time. The woman downstairs was telling me she'd come out of a women's refuge and they told her they didn't tell her where she was going. I would just kill myself. I couldn't do it. I don't know how they do it. How do you just say, right, I'm going from one place to another, don't know where I'm going, because it could be in another county. They tried to send me to Kent. You couldn't do that to me. I'm extremely vulnerable. I've had a sheltered life. I've never taken drugs. I've never been beaten up. They have to factor that in. They have to. By law, they have to, but they don't. This is just it. They don't. And that's why you've got a broken society. So they're not going to, they kicked me out of Eastbourne, and that's why the legal ombudsman is investigating this. I'm talking about Eastbourne Borough Council, of course I am. So, yeah, but, so the question is, who was it who sorted out the bin problem today? That's what they're not telling you. Yes, so John the director hung up on my partner. He texted me to say, if this is unsuitable for you, I'll let the council know. Then Luke said, we can't get involved in that. Well, don't tell me, don't do one thing, then do another, then threaten me, then do this, then do that. Make up your bloody minds. Because I was so angry. About an hour ago, I was saying in a voice message to them, I was saying, grow a pair. Just grow a pair. There are no men alive. Why do you think I'm a so-called spinster? As this landlady put it. The BHT legal advisor read her libelous statement and said, she's a fantasist. No one uses that word anymore. Well, I am a spinster. I'm an old spinster. I'm an old spinster. Yeah. No, I'm a spinster because there was there are no men. There are no men anymore. No offence, guys. You know, there are real men out there, but you know, they just don't come my way. I've just got idiots surrounding me, apart from my partner. Oh, by the way, on my dictaphone recording, the A&A contractor who gave me the key to Belmore Road, that idiot. Oh, a real man? What, you mean like Darren? Yeah, well, don't worry, because I've got you recorded calling me an effing spastic, which is a hate crime. Yeah, this is an idiot who gave me the key to the property at Belmore Road. Yeah, this is how cowardly they are. And he looked a bit tearful because he said in one of his all-male properties, Charles Lucas Property Management, again, they'd had to deal with a death. It's a lot of paperwork, isn't it, when you have to deal with deaths? Maybe this A&A contractor and the director of this house, maybe you can have a chit-chat about it. Oh, we've had another death. Oh, it's a lot of paperwork. Yeah. Anyway, let's be serious. May Yahweh rebuke. May Yahweh rebuke it. Anyway, I've now got to phone the proprietors of the property in New Haven to try and get my possessions back. But if I don't release this anger, I will go crazy. Because Trudy, from warming up the homeless, she texts me to say, I've done this, I've done that. I've made a complaint about Monique for you. Well, it's too late because Monique's left her job and she's left me with all these problems. She isn't looking into the DHP. She isn't doing X, Y, Z. Trudy said, I've said I'd try and get these two agencies. Didn't these two agencies contact you? That's what she texted me. What two agencies? Nobody's contacting me. Nobody's doing anything. I sent an email to Barwell saying, I'm sorry, I can't make it to the appointment today. I've told PC Thorpe, well, basically, I'm not okay. Because they contacted the police. The police beat me out of my flat as a response to my father's death. So you can keep shoveling the shit back at me. I'll back the shit back in your face because that's where it belongs. I'm not talking about Barwells, by the way. Those ladies on reception were nice. I'm talking about... I know nice is a horrible... Look up the definition of nice. It's very derogatory. If there was another word I could use instead of nice. Yeah. But anyway, there we go. But it really grates on me when people change. You're waiting for them to change. I hate it how they prey on you. I hate it. This is why I just, if you're going to do something nice for me, do it. But don't. They know, they see your vulnerability. It's written all over your face. And if they're going to do something nice for you, then do it. But don't say weird things like, they know I'm vulnerable. The one who I gave Trudy from warming up the homeless, I gave the one who allegedly threatened to beat up the other one here, who wanted to help me. They said, am I schizophrenic? And the one that I gave Trudy's number to was the one who was trying to provoke a reaction in me because the other lady had said that my partner was here when he wasn't. God, even as I'm saying it, I feel like I need to slap myself around the head. I've just had to deal with so many nasty, demented people because you just don't want to believe that people can do these things, but they do. This is just it. But as scripture says, nothing that is unseen will not be revealed. Everything will be revealed. Everything that is unseen will be revealed. But anyway, there we go. It's you know, that I don't like how people use drugs or their disabilities and their mental health to excuse their bad behaviour. Because not even autism, not even cerebral palsy is an excuse to abuse other people. Not even that. Because my transgender sister, she used to be a carer for people with extreme, I don't know what the PC word is, but, you know, extreme disabilities, you know, used to call it mentally handicapped. You know, that's where the word, that horrible word spastic comes from. But there was a man in a care home. My sister was in the toilet, and this man who had severe difficulties wouldn't wait until my sister had come out of the toilet, and he was banging on the door, and she was shouting at him to wait. And as a dirty protest, he defecated on the carpet. Now all the other carers were like, "Oh, he's got his problems." My sister was fuming angry about it. She said, "You could have waited. You've done this deliberately." It's a difficult one because he used to apparently cover himself in his own feces as some sort of a trauma thing. So it's a difficult one. But the thing is, you do still have to put your foot down, because even people who are brain damaged can play on, you know, like elderly people, you know, people, you do play on things. You've got to get that balance right. But my sister was also not, oh gosh, yeah, she was knocked unconscious. God, I hope that hasn't had an effect on her head. My sister was knocked nearly unconscious by one of the people she cared for. This was about 20 years ago. But the woman was a liability. She was huge. She was sort of obese, apparently. She was very, she nearly caused the carers to have a car accident because she was pulling at their hair, and they had to move her on to another place. I've got so much, I want my sister to know that I've got so much respect for her for having done that job, because it takes a special person to be able to care for people with severe disabilities, severe mental disabilities. Obviously there are people out there who will abuse those people. You know, I know, because I've done care work and I was bullied by other carers. It's a thing in this country, isn't it? There seems to be a thing about our satanic institutions where, you know, that's why I was bullied by a matron. Well, I've now got this demented retired matron watching me. That's quite creepy. Someone that you've never met who wants to help you write a book and goes on to exploit you. And she should be in prison. But this is what I'm going to speak to this solicitor about. Because it only takes one disturbed individual to spread malicious gossip, and it spreads like a disease. And there'll be other people in that house who've also got their problems, and they'll do the same. So anyway, I'm just going to finish on that note. I've had my rant, because it's all relevant. It's all part and parcel of the same thing. This has not just been about some bins outside. This has been about abuse and gang stalking, breach of GDPR, which this man has done, John from Lilybank Homes. So you've got to stand up to them though, because they've already destroyed. Yeah, so I'm just leaving it at that. You've got to stand up for yourself. No, I've already had a breach of GDPR, but there's so much of it in this town. I had no idea when I went into this system, the supported accommodation, and then my mother was dying of cancer, and my health went down the drain, and I was anybody's. I'm like raw meat in the lion's den, yeah. So that's how vulnerable I am. Yeah, but they're cowards. They're absolute cowards. They're not like brave lions. I'm the brave lion. It's like what Mr. Inman said at the rally in London. We're all brave lions. Well, you've got to be. Anyway, there we go. I'm going to leave it on that note. Come up to London on the 29th of October. Yeah. Okay, there we go.